What's going on, people? Welcome to the Progressive Action TV show. Now, today we're not going to play no intro music. We want to get directly into this thing. It's a crazy time in America right now. Trump is having a meltdown. Biden, Harris, that ticket is going to take over America. What does it mean for America? We're going to discuss all that today. What does that mean for America? But before we get into the main, the meat of this thing, I want to discuss some local stuff as far as with New York City Transit. And let me see something real quick. Make sure my phone, I got to set up my phone lines. Making sure everything is all good with my phone lines. But hold on. Yeah, so I need you guys to share out this video. Please share out this video. Share out the video. We're going to get into some things. But first, like I said, I want to talk about what's going on in New York City Transit before we jump into the main topics and have you guys call in. As you guys know, there's a Save Our Stations rally for station agents. That's Wednesday, November 18th, 2020 at 1 p.m. The march started at 195 Montague Street and end up at Brooklyn Plaza on J Street. You guys need to come out to that. And let me tell you guys the significance of this rally, right? For one, people don't know that station agents, they are the eyes and ears of the underground world. Without station agents, you won't be safe. The MTA even admitted that crime has risen in the subway system, and it will probably go higher if station agents aren't there. Probably go higher. So don't think that this is going to save taxpayers money. Don't think that your fares is not going to go up. You're actually going to be in more harm and more danger if station agents do not have their jobs. Also, I would like to point out the deaths in New York City Transit are on the rise again. So we just recently had a station agent pass away, Station Agent Patel, and he died due to COVID-19. RIP to Station Agent Patel. Now, he worked nights at 18th Avenue station on the F line in Borough Park. As you know, Borough Park has been on the hot list for COVID. I don't know why the MTA is not doing a better job to protect workers that's in that area, as far as finding out if they have any underlying conditions to get them out of that zone. I don't know why the MTA do that. And also, the MTA president, Sarah Feinberg, put out a letter acknowledging that the station agent passed away, and that's all good. But yesterday, I received a phone call from another station agent that relieves Mr. Patel on his for his duties, and this station agent was never notified by the MTA to quarantine. They were never notified to quarantine, which means that the MTA felt that it was more important to tell the MTA president to make a post. It's strictly for public relations to act like they care, but not tell the members who came in contact with another employee who died due to COVID-19. This is the company that we work for. They do not care about the employees. Everything is about going in front of the media, acting like they care, smoke screen and mirror, and there's another thing happening on the front lines and on the ground level. Who dropped the ball? The MTA acting like that this is their first week dealing with COVID. We are almost 9 months in, and the MTA still do not have their act together. And a result of them not having their act together is going to be more deaths amongst the employees, without no doubt about that. So that's all we gonna do for transit news today. Let me see what's going on with you guys. I like to see what's going on. Let me see what's going on Facebook. Oh, I gotta cut that off. All right, let me see what's going on Facebook. I need you guys to share this out. We're gonna talk about. Let me put the title on the screen. Get the title on the screen. And I need you guys to call in. I want you guys to let me know how you feel. Was Trump cheated? Was Donald Trump cheated out of the presidency? See what's going on YouTube. Say what's up to you guys on YouTube. YouTube. What's going on to all the people on YouTube watching? I see you guys. But was Trump cheated? I want you guys to call in. 515-605-9842. Let's play a little bit of the video of Trump's meltdown. Check it out.
And they're being counted. And that's how it's happening.
Thank you so much. Here's the President of the United States.
Good evening. I'd like to provide the American people with an update on our efforts to protect the integrity of our very important 2020 election. If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us. If you count the votes that came in late, we're looking at them very strongly, but a lot of votes came in late. I've already decisively won many critical states, including massive victories in Florida, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio. To name just a few, we won these and many other victories despite historic election interference from big media, big money, and big tech. As everybody saw, we won by historic numbers. And the pollsters got it knowingly wrong. They got it knowingly wrong. We had polls that were so ridiculous, and everybody knew it at the time. There was no blue wave that they predicted. They thought there was going to be a big blue wave. That was false. It was done for suppression reasons. But instead, there was a big red wave. And it's been properly acknowledged, actually, by the media. They were, I think, very impressed. But that was after the fact. That doesn't do us any good. We kept the Senate despite having twice as many seats to defend as Democrats. And in a really much more competitive states, we did a fantastic job with the Senate. I think we're very proud of what's happened there. We had many more seats to defend. They spent almost $200 million on Senate races in South Carolina and Kentucky alone, 2 races, and hundreds of millions of dollars overall against us. At the national level, our opponents' major donors were Wall Street bankers and special interests. Our major donors were police officers, farmers, everyday citizens. Yet for the first time ever, we lost 0 races in the House. I was talking to Kevin McCarthy today. He said he couldn't believe it. 0 races. Very unusual thing, 0. And actually won many new seats with, I think, many more on the way. This was also the year of the Republican woman. More Republican women were elected to Congress than ever before. That's a great achievement. I won the largest share of non-white voters of any Republican in 60 years, including historic numbers of Latino, African-American, Asian-American, and Native American voters, the largest ever in our history. We grew our party by 4 million voters, the greatest turnout in Republican Party history. Democrats are the party of the big donors, the big media, the big tech, it seems, and Republicans have become the party of the American worker, and that's what's happened. And we're also, I believe, the party of inclusion. As everyone now recognizes, media polling was election interference in the truest sense of that word by powerful special interests. These really phony polls, I have to call them phony polls, fake polls, were designed to keep our voters at home, create the illusion of momentum for Mr. Biden, and diminish Republicans' ability to raise funds. They were what's called suppression polls. Everyone knows that now. And it's never been used to the extent that it's been used on this last election. To highlight just a few examples, the day before election, Quinnipiac, which was wrong on every occasion that I know of, had Joe Biden up by 5 points in Florida, and they were off by 8.4 points, and I won Florida easily. So they had me losing Florida by a lot, and I ended up winning Florida by a lot. Other than that, they were very accurate. They had him up 4 points in Ohio, and they were up by 12.2 points. And I also won Ohio, great state of Ohio, very easily. And the Washington Post said Biden up 17 points in Wisconsin, and it was basically even. They were off by about 17 points. And they knew that. They're not stupid people. They knew that. Suppression. There are now only a few states yet to be decided in the presidential race. The voting apparatus of those states are run in all cases by Democrats. We were winning in all the key locations by a lot, actually. And then our numbers started miraculously getting whittled away in secret. And they wouldn't allow legally permissible observers. We went to court in a couple of instances, and we were able to get the observers put in. And when the observers got there, they wanted them 60, 70 feet away, 80 feet, 100 feet away, or outside the building to observe people inside the building. And we won a case, a big case, and we have others happening. There are lots of litigation, even beyond our litigation. There's tremendous amount of litigation generally because of how unfair this process was. And I predicted that. I've been talking about mail-in voting for a long time. It's really destroyed our system. It's a corrupt system, and it makes people corrupt even if they aren't by nature. But they become corrupt. It's too easy. They want to find out how many votes they need, and then they seem to be able to find them. They wait, and then they find them. And you see that on election night. We were ahead in vote in North Carolina by a lot, tremendous number of votes. And we're still ahead by a lot, but not as many, because they're finding ballots all of a sudden. Oh, we have some mail-in ballots. It's amazing how those mail-in ballots are so one-sided, too. I know that it's supposed to be to the advantage of the Democrats, but in all cases, they're so one-sided. We were up by nearly 700,000 votes in Pennsylvania. I won Pennsylvania by a lot, and that gets whittled down to, I think they said now we're up by 90,000 votes, and they'll keep coming and coming and coming. They find them all over, and they don't want us to have any observers, although we won a court case. The judge said you have to have observers. Likewise in Georgia, and they're appealing. Actually, they're appealing.
We're not going to play the entire video. I just want to know, was Trump cheated? Caller 646. You are now live on the Progressive Action TV show. How you doing, sir? Hello, caller 646. You on the line? (3665). That's you. You're on the line, caller. I don't know where this caller is at. That caller hung up. Was Trump cheated? I need to know, was Trump cheated? Now, a lot of people, I'm going to give you guys my opinion regarding this whole entire election. Biden, Trump, picking the lesser of two evils, and all of that stuff. First of all, let me see if I can bring the caller back again. Caller 646, you on the line. I cannot hear you, caller. I cannot hear that caller. Wait, hold on. Let me do that again. Hold on. Let me make sure that I'm good. All right, make sure that I'm good. Okay, let me see. Caller 7282. You're now on with Progressive Action TV. You there, caller?
Yeah, you can hear me?
I hear you. I hear you. Who's calling and where you from?
Hey, nephew, what's going on?
Oh, Unc, what's going on, Unc? Hold on, Unc. Let me get this other caller back on the line. Give me 1 second. Caller 3665. You're on the line with Progressive Action TV.
Hey, what's up, man?
Who's
What's up? It's Chris Morrell. You hear me?
What's going on now? I hear you, bro. Chris Morrell, and I got my
All right.
I got my
that's T-Mobile, man.
I got my Uncle Coke on the line. Yo, Coke, what's going on?
Hey, what's up? I did.
Huh?
Yeah, my question.
I can't hear your phone breaking up. Unc, I can't really hear you. I can't really hear your phone, Unc.
Okay, hold on. Let me do something.
All right, yeah, there you go.
I don't know what's wrong with the phone.
All right, the other caller. I got a question for you. Was Trump cheated?
I don't think he was cheated on a level of voter fraud. I think he was more cheated on a level of and I'm not a Trump supporter nor a Biden supporter. I think he was more cheated with the media and how they portray him. Because I talked to a lot of like Biden supporters, and I talked to black Biden supporters. I talked to a lot of black Trump supporters, and they was pointing out some key facts on why they voted for especially for Trump. They was pointing out why they voted for him. He ain't lying. A lot more people voted for him black people voted for Republicans than in a long time. It makes you think about why would they do that. And also how the media portrays him to be as, like a racist man, as we also know Biden's a racist man as well, but they wasn't even showing that Biden was racist. So I think this should show people, black people that's y'all listening out here, everybody, urban community, you do have, your vote does mean something. You are the reason why Biden may be up in the White House. But also, do your research before you vote, because I want y'all to know no matter who wins, it's not going to be your savior. I think that if Trump wins or Biden wins, it's really going to be the same for everyday people. But like I said, a lot of people voted for Biden off for the media portrayal, the fact that he ran with Obama, and a lot of people on my timeline are showing a lot of emotion. They acting like this is the Super Bowl. So it's crazy. When you look at it, because you got to think about it like, Trump has some racist ways to him. He's a racist man, right?
Yeah.
From what they say. Now, they got key points about Biden, but when you bring up the fact about Biden, they say, wait a minute, don't say that. He could be forgiven. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Let me tell you something. I agree with you on that, because when he came up with the crime bill in 1994, he was 51 years old.
Exactly. He's about to retire if he worked for TA. He can't, he already had his switcher job. He can't get that man on the road. Don't tell me you can change this man's ways at 51 years old. He's 78 now. I'm going to give him a chance. I'm going to give whoever wins a chance. I didn't vote for either one. I partaked in the local office. I voted for the member of the 15th Congressional District in New York State for the South Bronx.
Okay.
Richard Torres. I voted for him. Okay. He's in there. Work your way up through the system. Black people, and I say this, it's 100%, black people do not understand politics. We are not taught the right way of politics in school. It's something that has to be self-taught or passed from one person to another person. Because if we did know politics, we would have known that Trump wasn't going to leave the White House when he got impeached. Impeachment was just a charge.
Let me ask you, Unc, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So what you think?
What
you think? You got a response to that? How you feel about what he said? First of all, before you get into that, do you feel that Trump was cheated?
No, I don't think he was cheated. I know that he wasn't cheated. I believe that he flipped it. He's a con man. He you know what I'm saying? He used that technology. He used that technology on you. First of all, people not even going back to what he did. Before the voting process even started, he started to throw monkey wrenches in there. He started holding people hostage. He started defunding the post office. People weren't getting their regular mail. He had already formed a plot on how he was going to get in. He was going to just get into the voting process so that it'd be favorable to him. Not only that, people have not already understood that the Voting Rights Act has been stripped on his watch. The whole thing that's going down in the Black Belt and all in the southern states where people been disenfranchised, where they can't get to the polling site, that was part of the voters' rights being stripped on his watch. He allowed that. He promoted that. All right? It's easy for white people to get to their polling, but it's for black and brown people, he got harder. Even the identification process, they made it hard for people to get identification so that they can even participate in the voting processes. So people, as soon as the Voting Rights Act got stripped, he had begun to parlay on his bid to get reelected. Then if you take away people's access to voting, like the mail-in vote in a pandemic, by telling them, no, you can't come outside, and no, you can't vote. What are you doing? What is he doing? This was a plot he formulated. Now that it worked, it just seemed like now that the mail-in votes, which he knew if they got mailed in would be unfavorable to him, now somebody cheated. Come on, how do you cheat putting a piece of paper in the mail?
Yeah.
Those votes, those forms got sent to people's houses. Those were sent out by the government and were expected to be returned to the government and counted by the government. So how is he cheated in the process that he's been taking advantage of all the time?
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Who do you like better out of Trump and Biden?
I don't see. My thing is, I'm going through this with my family. I'm not fond of the American system, the government anyway, due to the fact that, you know what I'm saying, I'm of African descent, and the political system is not made for us. It's not made for us, period. So me voting for either side, it's not going to do anything. Nothing's going to change in the hood. The hood's going to be the same way as it is, whether I vote for Biden, Harris, or Trump Harris. It's just not going to change. You know what I'm saying? We only become relevant when numbers become relevant. So we're just the icing on the cake when they decide to do battle within themselves. White people don't like Trump no more, the majority of them. But if you look at the voting, if you look at how voting is broken down, this country is divided. The majority says that they don't, and the white people are the majority. The majority is saying that we don't want this asshole in there anymore. So right now, our vote is just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, I think the black vote actually put Biden up there.
Of course. In any election, we didn't put Obama into office. We were the icing in the cake. That's in any election. Yeah. We 13-14% of the population, and then you have the Latinos, then you have the others, then you have all of those people. We are fragments of the population. So our vote only puts the icing on the cake. So we don't make decisions.
A lot of black people live in the states that with the Electoral College that have a good amount of votes. Like New York got 20 electoral votes, and if you looked at the map of New York, it was a lot of red in there. But the places like New York City, Syracuse, Albany was voting blue, and that's where predominantly black. Well, a lot of black concentration is at New York City.
Historically, New York. Historically, Democrat states have stayed historically Democrats
since '88.
Just like
since '88,
right? Okay. So now we taking.
Well, quick.
So now all the marginal lines, the lines of demarcation has been drawn. Everybody know where everybody stands. South Brooklyn being Bensonhurst, all of those Staten Island, that's South Brooklyn. They red. Staten Island and South Brooklyn, Bensonhurst and Staten Island, those are Republicans. The rest of New York City, the 5 boroughs, are all blue. So you can see where everybody. You can see where everybody stands, but the point of the matter is wherever we stay, we are already always the minority, except in the inner cities. In the inner cities, we are the majority. If you go out to Wyoming, you can't even count on your hand how many black people are out there. You go to Colorado, you can't count how many. So they stay red. With any state that you have, the black people are not the minority. Look at Florida. Okay, let's take Florida.
Hold on, Unc.
The Latinos.
Unc, I want you to co-host this show with me. I want to give Chris the next word because I want to get to more callers.
Yeah. Right.
Gotcha.
All right, so I'm going to give you the last word, and then we go get to more callers.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah. What I was saying is you got to look at how come a lot of us vote Democrat and what has the Democrats been doing for black people, or what has the Republicans been doing? Nothing. So why do black people vote for Democrat more than any other party? You got other parties out there too. You got the Green Party, Independent. I do feel if you was to ask me which one I like better, I don't really like either one of them, but I did research on Trump. I kind of like some of the things he did with prison reform, and a lot of innocent brothers got out of jail and all that stuff, and they showed, you know, that was the same thing that's brought up to black people, black Trump supporters that I talked to. With Biden, I think Biden was just trying to buy the black vote, and that icing on the cake. And when he said, "You ain't black if you don't vote for me," it's kind of reminiscent of what Hillary Clinton said. I walk around with a bottle of hot sauce too. So it's like these candidates been, you know, trying to buy our vote, and it's sick. It's kind of sick, and it's kind of sickening to see, like, you know, when you see a lot of black people did vote for Trump. I'm not going to call them a sellout, and I'm going to call the Biden supporter a sellout. The only way I call them a sellout if they voted based off of racism or if they voted off of emotion. And if they voted off of emotion to say that Biden is a nice man. A lot of people might have voted for Trump if they would say he was racist, but the reason why they say Trump is racist is not just because of his actions, because he has a high supporter from white supremacists. And of course, the white supremacists like him. Yeah, his father was racist.
His father was racist. He picked up companies. He picked up company housing, and his housing policies were racist. He had people. He had people that would tell him that would sell for white people, and that he wouldn't sell to black people. Yeah. So that he picked up his father. He picked up his.
All right, Chris.
So he is. I know what you're saying.
Chris, we gotta move on.
I got you.
Thanks.
I was going to say one last thing.
Go ahead, say one last thing. Go ahead, you got it.
I was going to say, the way I look at it, how many black people tried to apply to live in Trump Towers and got denied? How many black people got incarcerated under Kamala and Biden's policies?
Yeah.
All right? That's the question right there. Think about it. I didn't try to apply to Trump Towers, but I know some brothers that didn't. But I know brothers that got incarcerated under the policies of these people that's about to win.
Thanks for calling in, bro.
No problem, man. Good talk.
All right, no problem.
Okay.
All right. Let's get to the next caller. Caller 0197. You're on Progressive Action TV Live. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name's Chris. You hear me?
I hear you, Chris. Where you calling from, Chris?
Yeah, good. What's up, brother? Thank you for taking my phone call, man. I just want to tell you.
Hold on, Chris. Where
Chris,
where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the Bronx.
The Bronx. Chris from the Bronx. All right, go ahead.
And I just want to let you know, I watch your show all the time, and I like to take all your knowledge and everything. Now, what we're going to say is I do think Trump was cheated. And I'm going to use those mail-in ballots is what messed up this whole election. And it even shows, even in our union elections, with these mail-in ballots.
Facts.
100%. Because look at the last election. Everybody, you were out there showing everybody that you were able to take on the job as president of this union. Where did all those ballots go?
Facts.
They get mailed in somewhere.
Facts. It was definitely corruption in our union election with the mail-in ballots. So I could imagine on the American level,
exactly.
It's not one. I wouldn't say that it was cheating, but what I would say is that it probably not 100%. It's not a 100%, method.
There could be corruption. There could be corruption in any ballot system. It could be corruption. As a matter of fact, in any voting process, there could be cheated. Me and you send in the vote. Where do our vote come from? Everything you do in life, when you put something in somebody else's hands, you're operating on blind faith. So don't put it on the ballot system. Don't put it on the ballot system. Put it on the system itself. Don't say that the ballot system is corrupt, because if you want to say that, Trump got in, the popular vote is supposed to win. It's supposed to be one man, one vote. America spoke and said that they did not want Trump in there, but the electoral system said, nah. Forget what America says. We going by electoral college. You don't think that's corruption? You think that's fair?
Well, this is the thing that they get confused with the electoral college. People think that the electoral college, they think that they vote separately. They don't vote separately. Like whatever the popular vote is for that state has a certain amount of electoral college votes, right? Those votes, once you win the state, you get the electoral college for that state. Now, do I think that
what this country was made? Let's talk about what this country was made of. This country was made. The Constitution says one man, one vote. There was no electoral college. That means whether you like it or not, we voted. The three of us get into a situation and that we got to vote on something. There's no electoral college telling us, oh, you two on that side, you get 40 points, and I'm on this side, I get 10 points. It's one man, one vote.
I agree.
You don't think that that's some kind of? You don't think that the system has been hijacked? Don't blame this on the process. Don't blame it on the ballot system.
Chris, what you think?
Excuses with the ballot. When you flip a lever, when you flip a lever, do you know actually where your vote is going? No, you don't know where it's going. Who counted? Who tabulates or calculates in that machine? Put it on the process. Put it on the process. Let's all get on the boat or plane or whatever and go to the White House and put our name right there and say, I'm waiting for my number to be called.
All right, Chris, what you think, Chris?
The process can be manipulated. Anyway,
this is what I think of the process. The process starts from us, the people. And we are the people. The Constitution says we are the people of the United States of America. Now, they're the ones, the president doesn't matter. It could be Joe, it could be Biden, it could be Trump, it could be Kamala.
Let's talk about the process. Let's talk about the process. We are the people. The president works for us.
The process that we need to do as we the people, we need to change this House. We need to change this Senate. We need to change all the small people. We need to get and speak more to the people that are in our Congress in New York State and say, hey, look, this is the voting process no good, but nobody's speaking up no more. Nobody does that. They're just all worried about Joe Biden or Trump. Joe Biden or Trump. No, it's the small people.
I understand.
It's the same thing like the e-board in our union. You want change, you got to change that first.
The local.
It's the same
thing. We got to talk to local politics. The people. We got to talk to the local people who we send to Washington, who we send to the state. If they don't do what we say, then they need to be removed. That's what you're saying.
But they don't work for us. They don't work for us. That's the problem. They're not working for us.
They're not working for us.
Because we're voting these people in because they're going to say, oh, you know what? Hey, you got these projects right here on East Tremont Avenue. We're going to put a lottery in, and we're just going to show the people that we put this lottery in there. Anybody could get in these projects, right? But then the people that built it said, no, I want this person in there. I want this person in there. I own this part of it. I own that part of it. And then what happens? The politicians get involved. Now the politician says, look, hey, you throw me $100,000 to make sure I get in. I got you. We'll put 5 apartments for you. That's how it's going on.
That's
all right.
There you go,
Chris.
You just
Chris, thanks.
You didn't have to say no names. You told her how the world really works.
Chris,
that's how the world really works.
Thanks for calling in, Chris. We got to get to more callers. Thanks for calling in.
Good day, all right?
You have a great day too.
You too, baby.
All right, let's see who else we got on the line. Caller 2428. You're now on the Progressive Action TV show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Tramel? This is Mo from New York.
Mo from
Brooklyn, New York.
Hey, how you doing, Mo? What's going on? So let me ask you a question. Do you feel that Do you feel that Trump was cheated?
No, I don't think he was cheated. I think that most of the Democrats voted from home due to COVID. Most of the Republicans voted up front because they're not scared of COVID due to the president not being scared. As far as the system is concerned, we could have all the speculations and all the theories we want, but we would never know. We would never know. Right. You would have to literally be there to see the counts and how the system works from the inside in order to know if it's fail or pass, if it's good or if it's not. But I don't think that he was cheated. And also, if he feels like the system is so corrupt and that we can't be doing this to our state of America, this, that, and the third, why he didn't feel the same way when we felt that something was going on when Russia supposed to interfere with our voting?
Good
why
point.
He didn't speak up then?
Good point. Now let me say something.
Why was it okay? Why is it okay for them to interfere with our elections, but here have us go against each other inside of our own country to sit there and have, they ready to kill each other, Republicans and Democrats. He's fucking up the whole word of united. So,
of the states.
Did you hear what Biden said?
Exactly.
Did you hear what Biden said? Biden said that if Trump don't vacate the White House, the military, he's going to use the military to get Trump out the White House in January. Yo, this dude crazy.
That man don't even follow protocol. Even if he felt like Obama, didn't do right inside the office, right? But as far as protocol is concerned, he's supposed to hung up his picture inside the White House, correct?
Yeah, he didn't do it.
So he don't even follow.
Yeah.
Trump don't even follow protocols. Every time, and even Hillary said, whenever this man is on the losing end of things, he starts to cry like a baby. Everybody's cheating. Everybody's messed up. Fox News has been on his side through the whole time with this whole 3 and some change elections. Now, since they
not
differently,
that's immediate.
Whatever it is. My point is that once you go against Trump, you're now his enemy.
Now, I'm going to read something that I just put on the screen. You guys can't see it, but I'm going to say it. This is by one of Trump's sons. President Trump's adult sons lashed out at prominent Republicans Thursday for not supporting Trump as votes continue being counted. Minutes after one of their tweets, Senator Tom Cotton and Nikki Haley posted their own tweet supporting Trump. Now, this is my opinion on why Trump is not even having Republican support. See, I think that Trump is not a part of the swamp. I think that, Trump is uncontrollable, and he don't play by the rules, right? And he's overt. These white racists in politics know that overt racism is not going to work. So for me, between Joe Biden and a Donald Trump is, how do you like your racism served up? Overt or covert? And I think that Biden is going to make black people asleep at the wheel again. I think that it's going to make us comfortable again. That's why I wasn't against a Trump presidency in the first place when he ran against Hillary. I think that us black people needed a wake-up call, and I think that Trump was that wake-up call. Biden, Harris get in. I think that we're going to go back to business as usual, and that business as usual never worked for us. That's my thoughts on that. But thanks for calling. Okay, who that, Coke?
All right.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. We're going to get to some more callers. Okay, Coke, what you got to say?
Right, thanks, Ramel. Yo, love your show, bro.
Thanks, bro.
All right,
I just wanted to say one thing. I just wanted to say at the end of it, when does it work for us, no matter who's in there? I say it'll keep coming up over and over and over. When does it work for us? When do things get right for us in any administration? At any administration, everything that we're getting right now is just to appease us. Like you said, blow smoke up our butt, make us feel comfortable. But when it comes down to the real issues, none of the real issues that we face are being resolved. None of them, because the same thing our forefathers were fighting for in the 60s, those same signs apply to right now. This is 2000, technological age. We shouldn't be going through the same thing, with the same type of people. We're racist. And as you can see, racism is doing this same old thing, and saying it just in a quieted, like you said, in a before Trump, in a coverted way, and now when Trump came out, it's overted. So when are we going to address racism? We're not, because that's just people. The country is divided, and we can see.
Okay. Let me get the next caller in. Caller 4121. You are now live on the Progressive Action TV show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? Brian Taylor, transit worker, Queens, New York.
Hey, how you doing, Brian? So let me ask you the question.
Everything going well, man.
Good. Do you think Trump was cheated?
I don't believe he was cheated, but I think it's one of his even though the pandemic made it a little worse, but this seems like one of his systems 4 years ago that he put in, and to me it like backfired on him now. Yep, because with the mail-in votes, and he knew all of them wouldn't get in on time. He won, and Trump is the type of person. When he wins, he's good. When he loses, cheated, fraud, blah blah blah. That's the way to do it is. You can tell how the way he carries himself. He's a like we call it. He's a sore loser.
But let me ask you this: don't you think that is strange that with all the people said that Trump did all this negativity his whole entire 4 years, and then COVID, he dropped the ball big time on COVID.
Yeah,
if
COVID, a lot of
if
people
COVID,
were supporting him.
But look, if COVID didn't happen, I think that he would have mopped Biden up with the floor. I mean, yeah, he would have mopped Biden up with the floor.
I agree.
I
agree because he was doing very people. I mean, he had his fans, he had his people, but then he had a lot of people that wasn't fans of his that was looking at him and was like, oh wow, this dude ain't that bad, blah blah blah. But then when COVID happened, COVID messed him up bad. But even when you compare the two, my comparison, Trump. To me, they both got some racism into them, but Trump is the racist that would burn a cross on your lawn and then mess up your house. Biden is the racist that would say, F this, I'm packing up and moving, getting away from these people. To me, they both got some racism to them. So
I disagree on the Biden aspect. I think Biden will pack us away and get us away from him. Biden is not packing up and leaving. You know?
Yeah, but meaning he would distance himself. Trump is the type where he gonna fight back and forth. Biden would be like, okay, I don't like y'all people, you don't like me, blah blah blah. Let me get the heck out of here. But that, like I said, even people start talking about the crime bill, but that's a whole nother story situation too. Mm-hmm. Because back then, that's when crack was popping. Crack was crazy. Crack was scaring everybody, and everybody was scared. So they did that crime bill. I guarantee there's some black people that signed that was cool with it too. But everybody just looks back at it because yes, it was a bad part of Biden's legacy. But a lot of people was down to that. If you do your research, a lot of people was into that more than Biden. Black, white, green, yellow. A lot of people was into that because crack scared the hell out of everybody. Crack was crazy. It was bad.
You had to be back there. You had to live through that. And everybody was scared.
I'm 41, so I was like, I seen the streets when that shit was going
older than you. I was there, and I'm telling you that right there was driving people crazy. People's bodies were dropping Cali to New York. That it was even hitting the Midwest. The way people were killing
people were nervous.
People were crazy.
That was a bad time.
As it is, Europeans don't understand us as it is. The minute that there came a drug epidemic and it became money and crazy fiends, it scared the world. There were black people that couldn't come outside, and there were white people that were scared for it to come to their neighborhood. Okay, so you got senators, you got congressmen, and all of this, and seeing all of this blood. They did everything they could do to try to scare the drug trade away. Florida, all of the dealers coming in, they were doing ruthless things. So the people, they panic. He wasn't alone in it. I'm not happy with him. I'm not happy with the crime bill, but he wasn't alone with the bill.
I agree.
He exhibited a lot of ignorance for being a European because they don't understand us. They don't understand us. As soon as something happens, they panic and they try to protect themselves. I'm not defending him because if I defend him, I'm defending the system that does not represent us, that does not have
the system definitely is not for us.
No intention. Yes.
Well, let me say this.
You can hold him accountable for it.
Let me say this though. Everybody
but
focus.
He's not Trump.
Everybody
you don't want Trump.
Everybody focused on the '94 crime bill. Biden did way more than that. He voted for Roe to overturn Roe versus Wade in states. That's the women's right to choose.
Oh yeah, he had a lot of dirt. He got a lot of dirt on him. But the scary part between Biden and Trump, like I said, I don't like either one of them. But Trump, if you just sit back and look how divided this country is, it's bad. And Trump caused that because he made it comfortable for racists to come out. He made it comfortable to say what you want to say because they look. That's why they love this man so much, because they look at him.
That's right.
Oh, he can say whatever he damn well please. I guess I can too. And now with social media and all that, people ain't gonna say it to your face, but I look at a lot of stuff on social media and I see what they be saying. And these people they're disgusting how they feel. These people are really disgusting. But Trump makes it comfortable to be disgusting, to be racist, to be mean and nasty. And I haven't seen this country this divided in a long time. I don't
see it as being divided.
Trump said one thing. He asked a question. He said, "How do you want your racism, overt or covert? You want it under the table?"
Oh yeah, I heard him when you said that.
Listen,
yeah, it's like you're gonna get it.
I don't need you to tell me. I don't want you. Listen, I know you racist. I'm a black man. I know you racist. Keep that to yourself. Keep it to yourself, because that's gonna get your mouth punched. That's
oh yeah, that's what I was talking to somebody on social media saying some slick stuff, and I was like, you say this on social media behind your phone, keyboard, whatever you at, but you ain't gonna say that to nobody's face because you're gonna get punched in the mouth. But Trump made all these people feel comfortable, and that's ugly. That's why I was like, yes, Trump is bad, Biden is bad. To me, just that division of this country, we're supposed to be together, and it's ugly.
I mean, listen, I appreciate it. I appreciated, Trump being who he is and bringing these people out, because now we get to see what's really.
I like knowing who my enemy is. Yeah, people be like,
you get to see what's really going on.
I'm deleting them off Facebook and all this other stuff. No, I want to know. I want to see. I want to know. I was like, all right, now I know where you stand. Now I can watch you even better now.
I prefer my racism over giving me ours over.
But you know what? That's what we give them. That's what he give them. That's what we got to give him, whether we like him or not, because I hate him. I despise him. I call him Trump. I'm glad for one thing, that he made them expose themselves. Even your coworkers, the people that don't want to be on your friends list, I'm glad, because I was calling that guy my friend. I was calling that one of the good guys.
At least you know where they at now.
Yeah. Now I know where they at. The roaches have exposed themselves, and I'm glad that they did it. Now, you could be whatever you want to, but you better keep it to yourself.
All right, Brian, thanks for calling in.
The presidency.
Brian, you get the last word, Brian.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
No, you got the last word.
Say one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The only thing. Oh, yeah. With this situation, we got to do it. Like I heard you and the other guys talking. We got to do it small. You can't go for the president. You got to go for Congress. You got to go for your neighborhood. We got to do this ourselves, because politics ain't for us. But we got to put our foot in there and get it going. And Tremel, doing amazing job, my brother. Amazing. I appreciate it. I'm sure a lot of us appreciate it. You're a real good dude. And I even spoke to Nuko before the pandemic, and I was even trying to get down with you, but then the pandemic kind of messed up.
It's not too late. Hit me behind the scenes and let's talk about it.
Y'all need I got a big mouth. People that know me will agree. you need a big mouth around it. You got one, and I appreciate it.
Let's do it. Hit me behind the scenes. Let's make it happen.
Will do.
Thanks for calling in, Brian.
Let me hit to work.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Let's see. Caller 8622. You are live on the Progressive Action TV show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Caller 8622.
8622. That's you.
Hey, Tremel, what's up, man? This is Jay Dice from Brooklyn. MTA worker. How are you?
I'm good, man. MTA is heavy in the building. I wonder if it's because I'm an MTA worker. But look,
yeah, man.
I'm going to ask you the question. Do you think that Trump was cheated?
No.
Okay.
No again. I'm gonna put you like this. How can he make such an accusation? They push this agenda more so in wake of the pandemic. So the turnout, the numbers for the mail-in ballots were astronomical, obviously. This is something that hasn't happened in the history of elections. It's evident. And the numbers show. You see Joe Biden with the highest number of votes in American history. So, I don't think he was cheated at all. I mean, call it how you see it, but me, I don't think he was cheated.
Well, let me ask you this question. What do you think a Biden-Harris presidency means for America moving forward these next 4 years?
What do I think?
Do you think anything is going to change? What do you think?
Well, okay. Let me put it to you like this. Trump doesn't speak on behalf of the American people. He speaks from like firsthand point of view, how he sees fit, you know, to run this country more as his business, which is very detrimental to the democracy that this country is founded on. When challenged or called out for his actions, he becomes irate and belligerent. And a person like that in a position of power is very dangerous. Now, on the contrary, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, more compassion. They're open, in my opinion, you know, and they're subject to like change. So that's, you know, to answer your question, yeah, I feel that they, I strongly feel that they're open to change, and you know that's why they got my vote at the end of the day.
Let me ask you.
Can I say something?
Go ahead. Can
I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to try to explain the difference between Trump. He's not a politician. So his delivery is totally different. His background. This is not his skill set. He's a businessman. He's in there used to telling people what to do, and they taking it. Then you have Kamala. You have Kamala and you have Biden. They politicians. They sit in front of the people and they basically tell you what you want to hear. They know. They practice. They have people. They have handlers that tell them how you're supposed to talk. What are you dealing with? What your topic is? Whatever. Like you said, Trump talks straight up the head. He ain't talking for the people. He's not talking for the people. He's talking straight from his gut. And that's what people like. He's not talking for the people. He never got anybody's permission. He don't do polls and ask people what the topic is. Whatever the topic is today, that's what he's speaking on. And that's what, you know, that's what the kind of these inbred, ignorant people talking. They like that. They're like, he just says whatever he wants. I respect that. But he's supposed to be a politician speaking for the people, addressing our needs. Not about him. It's not about him. Kamala and Biden, they've trained professionals in politics, so they're going to sound more refined, smooth it over. But the thing about it is you can't be fooled by them because we don't know nothing about them or what their agenda is. They haven't made any promises. They ain't commit to nothing. They've just been thrown into a fight. They said, we don't want this guy here, and you two are going to be the ones. What their agenda is, we do not know what their agenda is. We don't know where we're heading with them. Local politics is the best way. Like you said, local politics, whatever the country's headed to, you got to be more concerned with your local politics, your councilmen, assemblymen, senate. You got to get down to grassroots and start telling people what you need in your community. Because Kamala and all of them, they don't speak for the people either. They're politicians. This is their job. They train to do this.
I agree.
I mean, you know, I was always taught growing up, all politicians lie. I mean, that's the unwritten rule. You know what I'm saying? They always taught me all politicians lie. However, who would I rather have speaking on my behalf? An angry person that gets angry at the simplest things when he's called out on, or somebody that speaks with promise, you know? Hope.
Hope for who?
Good to look forward to.
Hope for who?
Come again? I didn't hear that. Come again?
Hope for who? Biden and Harris were speaking hope for who?
Yeah, hope towards the progression, like hope towards progression of the country.
No, they wasn't, because the black agenda wasn't really addressed by them at all. You know, they could put anything on paper.
Is no black agenda.
They could put anything on paper. I'm gonna tell you who they want to progress. They want to progress LGBT. Biden said it straight up. As soon as I get in, I'm addressing that. They want to address the foreigners. They have no that's the problem I have with this whole election. Black people were sitting at the edge of their seats and we had nothing at the table. They made it clear during their campaign what they were going to do. The black points was just points to get votes. It wasn't something that they had anything for us. Right? So how can we even support that party as a whole? Like they promising us hope. unless you're a part of the LGBT community, unless you're an Asian or you're a Latino. Yes, there's things in place for them. The Equality Act, I think that's what it's called for them. But there's nothing for us but residual effects. If something happens to trickle down to us, what the promise was?
Then so be it. The promise for us was, my brother, was that we're going to get the first black woman vice president. That was the promise for us. We sitting here talking about put reparations on the table, police brutality, Black Lives Matter. That's the agenda. That's what we introduced to them in the beginning. They want to reject Black Lives Matter because they say that the owner or the contributor is a Marxist, so they want that out the door. They don't even want to deal with Black Lives Matter. They don't want to have no part. Reparations? We've been talking about reparations for how long? Kamala ain't talking about it. Kamala not talking about no reparations. She the first black woman up in there. That ain't the first thing out of her mouth. And Biden, he's still trying to survive the crime bill. He's trying to in Sleepy Joe. He doesn't have an agenda. He's waiting for somebody to put something on his table. Besides the LGBTQ, that's it. There's no progression. What progression is there unless you have a plan? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Correct. All right, caller, thanks for calling in. We're going to move on to...
No doubt, Mel. Thanks for having me, man.
All right, thanks for watching the show. Let's get to this next caller. All right, caller Fit 1546. You are now live on the Progressive Action TV show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yo, what up, Jamal? It's Dre, bro.
Dre, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, what's good, bro?
Chilling,
man. I told you I was gonna call in, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it's perfect. This is perfect for you. How do you feel Trump was cheated, man?
Oh, definitely. And I'm not even surprised that he was cheated. You know, I was listening to your callers, listening to everybody, their opinion. This is what you got to look at. I think us as black people, we get caught up in race, identity, politics, and it has nothing to do with that. Since this dude became president, they've been trying to get him out of office with the Russian collusion, which was proven to be false. They brought up things about his taxes, the whole nine. Why? Because Trump ain't a part of the establishment. I think you touched on that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So when you look at the overall situation, where you got a once-in-a-lifetime worldwide pandemic that allows that made everybody go inside. So from that, now you got all these ballots. The brother earlier called up and said, yo, they did the same thing to you in TWU Local 100 election with the ballot.
Facts.
With you know, people not getting ballots. You got, now the law states that you're supposed to have people from both parties able to watch the count. They blocking out Republican, you know, poll watchers or whatever. You got that going on. Every night since the election, in the middle of the night, you wake up, mysteriously these ballots come out of nowhere. And they just overwhelmingly are against Trump. I mean, I think I seen somewhere there was like 138,000 ballots. Not one went for Trump or any other candidate. They were all Biden.
My brother, the ballots was mailed in.
You know what I'm saying? So, my brother, let me finish speaking, bro.
Hold on, Coke.
Let me finish speaking.
Coke, I'm going to give you an opportunity to rebut him because this is going to get good. Go ahead, Dre.
So, when you look at it from that point of view, of course the fix was in. But the fix was in, you know, us as black people, we sit back and think it's a race thing and Trump is the racist person and all his supporters are racist. It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with business. Okay? And that's where we as a people don't understand how the system works. Because at the end of the day, when you look at it from a business point of view, right? And that's the way I looked at it. I don't look at it as Democrat, Republican, Trump, Biden. I look at it as business. When you look at it from a business point of view, Biden and Harris is not going to be good for nobody in this country, especially black people. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why this dude had a record number of Latino vote and African American vote. I can almost guarantee you that the record number of minority votes he got are people that deal with business. When you look at Florida and the Latinos down there, they're business minded. They own a lot of clubs, restaurants, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So for their business, it's good to have somebody who's business minded in there, as opposed to somebody like Joe Biden who's clearly compromised. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, at the end of the day, he was cheated. You know what I'm saying? We think that's a good thing. A lot of our people think that's a good thing. But is it really a good thing? You know what I'm saying?
Coke, what you think, Coke?
Like I was saying, I want to expound on this. The ballot. The ballots are mail-in ballots. They were prepared by the government, by the polling committee, and it was sent out by permission of the U.S. government for people who were unable to make it to the polls. We are dealing with a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic, where people are supposed to be mindful of exposure to other people in order to stay safe. People are not going to work. They're not going to school. They're doing everything that they can do to avoid getting sick. So those ballots came in handy. So a lot of people, just like a lot of people came and stood on them lines, a lot of them people still not coming out their house, whether it was election or not. Those ballots, those millions and millions of ballots were posted, were sent in way before the election. So they're not just all of a sudden appearing. So don't tell black people that they're just appearing, because they're not appearing. They came in the mail and they got sent back out. That's how they got them. The ballots don't get counted until election day, after people flip a switch. That's where the ballots are coming from. So that's not easy. That's not hard to explain to black people. So don't make black people feel, don't make this narrative of black people don't understand how to vote, because all you got to do is sign your name, put a check on it, and put it back in there. Now I'm going to address your situation about it's not about black, white, this, that, and the third. Life. This is society. Life is about black and white. America is about black and white. This is what a society is made of. When you choose a leader, they have to think about race. They have to think about business. They have to think about health care, women, men. They have to, in a whole nutshell, you got to worry about everything. So don't talk about it's not about this and it's not about that. If you don't want to talk about, if you don't want to defend black people, being black people, then you don't do it. But the thing about it is, though, you may be that business owner that get all that money. But what about the lady struggling? You want your taxes to be cut because you're a business owner and you taking home this, that, whatever. What about that lady that works in a factory? You don't want your taxes taken out, so you get this beef with somebody, but she's making less than you because she earns a salary. No. She brings home even less than you take home, but you're living in a home and she's living in a project. So there's a divide. There's a wealth and income divide. The rich want to get richer, but the poor don't want to get poor. All right? We as black people, no, we've been neglected for so long that we don't know how to do a lot of things. This generation, yeah, but prior to us, we had Black Wall Street. We were forced into having our own thing, so we did know how to vote. We did know how to make things. And you know what happened? It got wiped out. So don't talk about black people who don't know how to do this and know how to do that. A lot of things have been taken. A lot of things have been put in our way as an obstacle. Trump got all of the Latin, the Cubans, and all of that. They'll vote, yeah, because they, like you said, they got businesses. They get all the tax breaks. Yeah, you're going to vote for the guy. If you black, you're going to vote for that guy. That's going to, 50 Cent and stupid-ass Lil Wayne. Oh, yeah, they get tax breaks, so they business owners. But I'm talking about the poor man. When you become the president, you are the president of the people. Like Obama said, I'm the president of the people, not the black people. I'm the president of the black people. So people that want to vote for Trump, they got money in their pocket. People that don't want to talk about black people and they black, they in denial. But like I said, in the end of the day, society in America is black and white. So if you want to be in denial about that, that's okay. That's okay. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. But don't downgrade black people, as we don't know how to do. We don't do this. We've been denied this. We've been blocked. There's a gap in what we
Okay,
can
bro.
do.
Are you done, bro? Because I'm gonna refute everything you just said. First of all, I don't put down. I'm not putting down black people because I have some kind of thing against putting down black people. I'm talking about the history. Now I'm gonna talk about facts. See, the problem with us as a people, we caught in our feelings of who we like, who's likable, who's electable, who we dislike. Yo, bro, I don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying?
That's you.
You can care about that. You can care about your feelings of who you like, who you don't like.
Not my feelings. It's
I don't
facts.
care about all that. You know what I'm saying? No, that's your facts. Here's the facts of the election.
No,
here's
your feelings is that you don't feel that we this and that. What facts?
Here's the
we
no, bro.
Hold on, Coke. It's his turn. You're going to get your turn to rebut him back. Let's keep this civilized. It's an educated conversation that needs to be had in our community.
Yeah.
So let's have it civilly.
Yeah. So let's look at the facts of how things work. We talked on the Electoral College. Everybody is like, get rid of the Electoral College, right? The Electoral College was put in place by the founding fathers way before there was a Democrat or Republican. The reason why the Electoral College was put in place is so places that got less population, states that got less population, will be just as important as states that got higher population. Because what would happen if the election was, everybody say popular vote, if it was left up to popular vote, there will always be a Democratic president because most of the population is in Democratic areas. So when people say, oh, we need to get rid of the Electoral College, then you disenfranchising people who live in rural areas that may not specifically see things the way people that live in the urban city see things. So how is that fair? Two, when you talk about what's going on with the election, each state has laws. And see, this is where people get it twisted. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Each state has laws, election laws, of when things are supposed to, the way the election is supposed to be handled, when the counting is supposed to stop, the whole nine. You had the elections, I think maybe Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, at a particular time, those ballots that was coming in after the fact weren't supposed to be counted. All right, and that's where everybody is like, oh, Biden is going to win. But I guarantee you, if this goes to the Supreme Court, that's going to be overturned because the Supreme Court is supposed to make decisions based on the law. And if the law, first off, the Pennsylvania Attorney General, when they went to the court in the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania, the judges are not supposed to make rulings on laws that already exist. It clearly states that legislators are supposed to make laws. So the legislature of Pennsylvania already got laws against when ballots can be counted and when it can't be counted. What the Pennsylvania Supreme Court did is they said, yo, we're going to allow you to vote or send your ballots in to Friday. They clearly broke the law. You know what I'm saying? So, again, it's not me saying I'm for Trump, I'm for Biden. I'm just looking at it as from a law point of view. And as far as like us as a people, bro, we done voted 50 plus years for Democrats as a people. What has that gotten us? And what Jamal said about the agenda of the Democratic Party, there's a reason why Trump got a record number of black men voting for him. Why? Because where do black men have a place in the Democratic Party? If you look at the beginning of time, the oppressors always elevated the black woman over the black men because they felt like they could handle the black woman. Look at the fact that if you in the Democratic Party and you're a black man, you pretty much have your masculinity stripped from you. And that's fact, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? They have an LGBTQ agenda. They had an immigration agenda, but they didn't have no black agenda. And if you look at Kamala Harris, if you think she's good for black men, you crazy, bro.
Go ahead, Cope. Coke, what you got to say about that?
Hey man, hey bro, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I feel where your passion coming from, but you got a few things twisted. Legislation does make laws through legislation, but the Supreme Court upholds law. They don't make law. They uphold law, and they make the decision on how to interpret the law. The United States Constitution is supposed to be a living document, being that it can change at any time. You can amend it one way or the other, okay? The Supreme Court does not make laws. You said they made laws. You said that they extended a mailing.
I never said
ballot.
they made laws. I said the legislator makes the laws.
Okay.
The legislator makes the laws.
So then how did the Supreme Court break laws? They can't break laws, and they can't make laws. They can only interpret laws.
Bro, you're not listening to what I said. I said the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court. The whole thing about them going to court to allow them to extend the voting.
Did they extend it? Did they extend the ballot process? Did they extend
the Pennsylvania Supreme Court allowed the state of Pennsylvania to do that?
They can only do things within the limit of the law. And like you said, if they broke the law,
that's the point that I'm making. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court broke the law. That's what I'm telling you, bro.
Now let me finish. If they broke the law, it's going to get overturned. But the bottom line is those ballots that came in, the ones that are legitimate, they're going to count. They're going to count. You're making excuses that.
I never said that they wasn't going to write. They wasn't going to count legitimate ballots.
Okay,
I never said that.
Talking about
don't put words in my mouth, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna say something to you. The ballots were already there. The ballots were already there. I didn't put that in your mouth.
How the ballots was there when you had ballots in the middle of the night, bro?
The ballots are mailed in, brother. The ballots are mailed in, and if after they're not postmarked at a certain date.
You know what? I'm glad that you have faith in the system because you got more faith in the system than a lot of black people should have in the system. I'm glad that you have faith in that.
You're talking about the wrong one. You're talking about the wrong one to be having faith in the system because you're the one putting your faith in the man that don't have no love for you or your people. So
no, I never said I supported Trump. I never said I supported Trump. You putting words in my mouth.
Listen, I'm saying to you, I ain't putting nothing in your mouth. I'm giving you an assessment of what I have to do, and I need you to understand that.
You're giving an opinion on something that's not real because I never said I supported Trump.
I'm giving you. Well, I'm gonna just tell something to you. Your statements, your commitment.
I started off my statement that said I'm looking at it from a business point of view.
And I'm going to finish it. From a business point of view, a president is not supposed to protect the people, only the people who make money. You're supposed to protect the people who don't make money, and that's not what Trump does.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Coke. What president ever defended the people who didn't have money?
None of them.
But why?
He's defending them.
Why we?
I'm not defending him.
No. Why?
I'm not defending him.
He's saying that I'd rather be. It's not about black or white, but I give Trump this. He is doing this for the people that have money and the people that.
I did not say any. Listen. Let me ask the question. Let me ask you a simple question. If you know about business, I'm assuming that you know about business. I don't know what you don't. I'm assuming you know about business. You seem like you're an intelligent person. Let's keep it real here. If you looking at all the businesses in the United States, right? Again, I'm gonna go back to business and economics. Now you see what Trump did when he got in office with the businesses that was outsourcing all the jobs to other countries. He told them, if you want to do that, that's your choice. But understand when you ship your shit back into the United States, I'm gonna put a tax on it, right? So they had to look at it from a business point of view. Do we just keep the jobs in the United States or we continue to outsource them overseas? A lot of them brought the jobs back to the United States. That's why the economy was doing much better. Now, as a businessman, if you got Joe Biden talking about, I'm going to raise your taxes and I'm going to get rid of this and that and all the perks, as a businessman, why would I keep my business running in the United States when I can outsource them jobs to China and have the same business done for little or no money at all? Okay, so that's why I said I'm looking at it from a business point of view. if you're a business owner, if you're a business owner and you're not making no money.
You know what Making America Great was? You know what Making America Great is about? Bringing businesses back home, bringing it back home. If you're a patriot, you come home and you pay. You know, Biden and all Biden is his plan is to say, telling people to pay your fair share of the taxes. But businessmen say, I am supplying this country with workers and income. I should not have to pay that amount of taxes. That's what the problem is. If you're a patriot, you say to yourself, I'm going to pay my taxes so my country runs. But see, the greed and the wealthy tells them, look, if my taxes go up $100,000, I can't take $100,000. I can't take $100,000 loss, but they got $3.5 million in the bank.
Yeah.
That's where the problem lies. People talking about why should I do this and why should I keep my business in America and pay more taxes when I can go to India and save $100,000? It's not going to make or break them. It's the fact that they're not going to make as much money as they could. If you're a patriot, you come home and you pay your fair share taxes and you keep your millions and you keep your businesses running. The wealth of the greedy, the 1% want to stay the 1%. There's always going to be a divide. It's not no middle class. It's not going to be no rich middle class and no poor. It's changed so badly that there's only the rich and the poor. Where do you fit in it? You're not rich.
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
Okay.
I agree with you 100%. So my point is
if I'm
this.
a patriot, Bill Gates should not have a damn business outside this country. He's a billionaire. Everything he has should be right here in America. Every billionaire needs to come home, but you know what they won't because they're going to have to pay taxes on it. So you call them patriots? You call Trump a patriot because he's allowing people to outsource? Hire when Trump came in, when Trump came into office, that big American refrigeration air conditioning company lost New Mexico or Arizona, wherever they was. They went out of business. They had no choice, but they had to move. You telling me when he first stepped into office, a big company like that leaves America because he gave them no other option to? He should have did anything to keep them in, but he lost them. So you telling me that was a good business move? Oh yeah, if he moves out, if they move away,
listen,
tax they shit.
I didn't say he was good business move. This is the point.
So what are you saying?
You saying what you saying? I'm not saying I disagree with what you're saying, but what you got to understand that as a business person, I don't have to come back to this country and bring jobs back.
No, you don't.
You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, would you rather people not work and not have jobs because they done sent them across seas, or would you have people, okay, they pay a little bit less of taxes, but you know what? At least everybody is eating somewhere. That's what you got to look at. You got to look at the big picture. I don't care. Me personally, I never cared what a rich person pays or doesn't pay in taxes because I don't pocket watch the next man. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, this is what it comes down. This is what it comes down to. This is what it comes down to. It's easy to sit back and say, "Oh, they're not doing this, they're not doing that." I think in the debate, Trump laid it out clear. He said, "Yo, I'm taking advantage of the tax laws that you and Obama put into place." Okay? So at the end of the day, how do you expect a businessman not to try to pay the least amount of money that he gives him as a businessman?
Hold on.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm a poor man.
Hold on one second, guys. I got another caller. I want y'all guys to stay there. I'm just get this last caller. I want to see what they say, and then we go continue this conversation. Caller 4644. You're now live on the Progressive Action TV show. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Pianca. I'm calling from the Midwest or the South.
Midwest or the South. And what's your name again?
Pianchi.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. Was Trump cheated?
Yes, he was.
Okay, explain.
No, I ain't going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about why I voted for him.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's fine. Go ahead.
I voted for him because of his issues, which the other gentleman is talking about eloquently, tax reform. My business is that of erecting structural steel buildings, like the ones that fell down in New York during 9/11. Yes, you had a black man that put buildings up like that owned his own company.
We know that.
And
we know you out there.
Yes.
Yo, let the brother speak, man.
Let him speak. Let him speak, Coach.
But see, here's the thing. with foreign steel coming into this country, it has stymied this business. I'm going to give you another example. You got a black petroleum company in Cleveland, Ohio called Hightower Petroleum. Stephen Hightower was a janitor and he built that business. It's an oil business. So when Joe Biden say he's going to do away with the oil and fracking, he's going to hurt that black business. Now, let me show you how this works on its way down. I work with black students because I want to see more become professionals in professional areas like STEM. And some black students don't have the things that they need that's necessary. And I have taken it upon myself, working through organizations, to help them. I have taken it upon myself to help Boys and Girls Club to get equipment so young blacks can do what it is they want to do. I was able to do that because of the discretionary money that I had when Trump lowered business taxes down to 21% from 35 and 36.9% it exists during Obama. So now, guess what? I ain't going to be able to do that for them kids because their parents, because blacks have been conditioned to vote for the same political party that puts those taxes at those rates. I can't do it.
Facts.
I can't do it, young man. So now what you going to do? Whites ain't going to go in there and help you. Nigerians ain't going to help you teach your kids how to take power from them. And see, we get ridiculed all the time because we move out of the hood and move to the suburbs. Well, look what the suburbs have. Now, it ain't saying that we think we try to help, but see, if you are doing things to support that goes against my interest and my family interest, I can't help you. It don't make sense. It's like taking one step forward and 2 or 3 steps backwards.
Excellent.
That's what it's all about.
Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think a Biden Harris presidency for the next 4 years mean for America from your point of view?
Well, what did he say he's going to do?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Nothing. That was my point.
You know,
that was my point as far as
you're right.
Hey, my brother, you the only. Hey, my brother, you were the only one that came on here and could say that. You the only one brought in the facts. So I respect that. Because you.
Well, it's because I'm older. You know what? I'm older than you, and I'm supposed to share with you my wisdom that's been developed with my experiences through life. And I'm telling you, you know the things that affect blacks here mostly is academics and economics. Now, we know that crime is tough, but when you get down to it, it's the academics and the economics. Things like school choice, which Donald Trump proposed. I never heard a president talk like that on school choice. And he said so in his first address to Congress. You know what that allows a parent and family to do? It allows them to put their child in the educational environment that goes along with their long-term educational goals for their child. But in the present system, it's not happening. The data shows it's not happening. It is ridiculous what's going on with them kids.
But big bro, the thing about it is that everything that you speak on, we can achieve that through local governments. We don't need Trump to come here and do that. See, the thing about it is being politically affluent, you have to understand everything that he can produce. Those are things that his cabinet told him to do. Those are not things that he did from his from his own heart. And I understand that. That becomes a Republican Party running issue or something that he has to do to maintain his status in the government. He's not from the heart doing that. But listen, big bro, what I'm saying to you is, in the beginning, we talking about the Republicans being the party.
Let's go back to school choice real quick, just a second.
Okay,
just a second.
School choice.
It has to help him. It has to go with him because the school district wants federal monies for programs. See, they don't have to take them. See, federal government can't tell the school district how to teach the kids, but if they want federal money, you got to do what? You got to allow parents to have school choice with vouchers. The same way Hillary Clinton and Obama told African countries, if you want this carrot, you got to open up your society to same-sex marriage and abortion on demand.
But big bro, that's a big one.
Okay, now go on to the other. And I agree with you on the local. Let's go on to the next one. Let's go on to the next one.
That's low-hanging fruit. That's low-hanging fruit. You giving him the option. You giving him a pass for low-hanging fruit. What president goes in and denies the kids anything? He took credit for giving HBCUs money. I mean, like who
Obama
did? Anybody like that?
He did. Obama, Biden, they all are against school choice, brother. I can give you document after document that tells you NAACP is against school choice. But go on to the next one.
Next.
I appreciate you, bro, because you breaking it down, bro.
Go to the next. Because I appreciate that. They're against it or with a Biden. No. Now listen. They can appreciate everything they want to. It's not that they're not against it. It's that they met resistance in the Senate. You give me the documents.
You know why they're against it? You know why they're against it? Because wait a minute, come on, hang on for a second.
Wait, hold on,
I understand what you're saying. Hang on for a second. Come on, just take a breath.
The resistance didn't pass because the Senate.
No, take a breath, young man. Please,
hold on, Coke.
I'm listening.
Hold on, Coke.
The reason they are against it because the National Education Association is against it. The American Federation of Teachers are against it. And they are big lobbying groups that even contribute to the NAACP. They are against it because they make their teachers, their member teachers make money off of those children where they are. Obama was against the D.C. voucher program that let disadvantaged students, parents send their kids to that one school called Sidrid Friends. That's where his daughters went to school. He was against the voucher program.
I remember that.
Go ahead, young man.
Go ahead, Coke.
No,
yo, sir, I just want to say I appreciate you, sir, because you're breaking it down. Jamel knows me very well, and I always say it's about economics. It's about economics.
You're not breaking nothing down.
Listen, you done already got school, bro. You can say
you guys. First of all, we gotta stop arguing.
Hold on, yeah. Hold up.
Arguing each other.
Hold up.
When you don't own businesses, that's the mentality.
Hold on. I gotta get.
Because the fool can't school itself. The old school.
You're the fool, bro. Because you just got a business.
Hold on. I had to mute you guys for a second. Got to mute you guys for a second. I need you guys to get a grip. We are having an intellectual conversation. These are conversations that we need to have. So I need to speak. I need for you guys to speak one at a time. People from all over the country is listening to the show. We are not inside of our apartments. We are not in our basements. We are not on the street corner. Let's have some intellectual conversation. Let's share thoughts and wisdom. And let's get back on code. Can we do that? I'm going to bring you guys back. Let's try that. Coke, you back?
Look, I'm not going to be clowned by a clown. That's what I'm just trying to say.
Well, you guys got to start arguing with each other, man. Please.
No, because you bringing knowledge to me, and he's
but I'm also giving you some good advice. Stop arguing.
But you're bringing the knowledge, and I'm being...
Stop arguing. I don't want to come to no argument now. Let me tell you something else that needs to be done amongst black. I'm going to tell you something else Trump said. Trump told immigrants that's here working on visas that when your visa expire, you got to go. I'm talking about those that's in the doctors, the sciences, the professions, engineers. He said when your visa expire, you got to go because we're going to replace you with Americans. That's a good thing. How many times do you hear black professionals say they still have problems getting jobs? Because these damn immigrants is taking up a lot of that space. And we got to educate our children for high-paid, high-wage professions. Right now, black college students are overrepresented in low-paying majors. Well, if you know that, how can you have a conversation the next day talking about the disparity in wealth between blacks and white when you're educating yourself for things that don't pay nothing?
But, big bro, don't you think any of those things that could be achieved through any party, any grass from the bottom to the top? It doesn't make
the voucher's not going to be the voucher. You're going to have to. Well, as long as I've known, Democrats has been against that, sir. And I keep telling you, it's because of the influence of the teachers union. Teachers union even influence your state politicians.
Right. The Democratic Party is bending to the will of the
and you know when blacks oppose they in the 70th percentile, 77% say we want school choice because they are tired of what's going on with their kids. You're talking about generations.
I'm not either Republican or Democrat. What I'm saying to you is,
And I have voted for Democrats too. That was for school choice and other issues.
Can you answer my question? I'm asking you, don't you think that from a grassroots level, starting from local communities and stuff like that, don't you think that we should be putting pressure on our local governments to take it to Washington to get what we done?
You can, Missouri is trying to pass a school choice, but they don't have vouchers in the mix too. That's important because parents, people that come from the hood that don't have the money, but they do everything else in order to give their child that edge. They take them to museums, and they need to have that money to follow their child to the school or institution that they want them to be in. Now I'm gonna tell you something else Trump did too.
I understand that.
Well, I told you it goes on. Missouri state legislature is considering school choice, but most are not. Until you put that federal pressure and say we're not going to give you federal dollars until you let. Just like Obama said, we're not going to give you federal dollars until you allow a transgender bathroom, until you allow males to participate in female sports. We're going to stop Title IX.
There you go. Those are the things, the pressure from the lobbies. Those are special interests.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm saying to you, we can
and you should do whatever means necessary.
Yeah.
But Big Bro, what I'm saying to you is you're promoting a party. I'm not promoting the party.
I'm promoting issues. It just so happened this party put them out there.
Okay, but I'm asking you a question, and you're not asking it. I'm saying as a people and not as a party, don't you think that it's time for us as a people from a grassroots level to start putting pressure on the local government to take it to the government and say this is what we want as a people? As all of this participation that we've given, we want
I got an answer for that. You don't have to go no further. I got an answer for that. And I'm going to tell you this, and I hate to tell you like that. When I tried to push them, you know who was my biggest obstacle? It was black people themselves, especially the ones that's making money off of the dismal performance of black children in these schools. They don't want to let them go. You damn near had to have a Moses come down and say, let my people go. They ain't going to do it.
We our worst enemies, which I can understand at some time. But the thing about it is about the almighty dollar. It's about the almighty dollar. It's not about the people anymore. And even to an extent, like what you're saying, it's about the dollar when you can't provide with the disposable income that you save on your taxes. You cannot provide the philanthropy that you provide because it's about the almighty dollar. That's what Trump is. He's not about uniting people in a fair share. Even if you weren't getting as much money, I'm sure you have enough money as a businessman in the field that you have. You have enough money to contribute something. You don't have to take it the weight on your back. You don't have to provide. Listen, Big Bro, let me just ask you a question. I'm just saying what I'm saying. You said you schooled me very well, and I'm going to take that to the bank. But what I'm saying to you, on a united front, I'm not pro-party. I don't have a party. I'm talking about black people getting together, stop working against each other, start working their way up from the bottom, just like the LGBTQ.
I got an answer for that, young man.
I know you do, but I'm just saying.
Well, then let me give it to
understand that.
Look, hold on, Coke.
We are worse and we need to stop.
Coke, we go give him the final. We go give him the final word, and then we gonna move on to our next callers. Guys, sir, the floor is yours.
Yeah, the reality is this, and I don't care how you put it, it's true. All blacks are not the same.
Of course not.
That we and us really just don't exist unless you build it. And you build it by sitting down at a table with people with like agenda and like minds.
Like mine, right.
If you don't have that, then you just out there blowing in the breeze. You've been talking this since way before Marcus Garvey. The Nation of Islam put it together, but they couldn't keep it. Okay? But the Nation of Islam is not the Church of God in Christ. Church of God in Christ will not have anything to do with Muslims. Southern Baptists, black Southern Baptists will not sit down at the table with Muslims.
Okay, but they black, so we are worse enemies. We are worse enemies. That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
it's not necessarily an enemy. It's just that they different. Hey, look, in this country, you have the Nigerian American Beauty Contest, the Ghanaian American Beauty Contest, the Congolese, the
What's wrong with
Cote
that?
d'Ivoire American Beauty Contest. They all black, but they have their own thing. And they don't work with the African American Beauty Contest.
You got French, you got British, and all of that. They get together and they come together for a common cause. They've been doing that. That's how they
right.
the world.
So that's how you got to do that.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
All right. I don't want to take up no more time. I appreciate what y'all provided.
Hold on. I want to say I really appreciate you calling in. I think this is our first call from the St. Louis, Missouri area. You came with a wealth of knowledge. Hope you tune in again.
Yep.
Hope you tune in again, and thanks for educating us.
I thank you for being receptive of what I had to say. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for calling in.
Take care.
Dre, you still there? Dre, you still there? I don't know if Dre's still there. Let me see this caller, 1546. 1546, you're live on the Progressive Action TV show. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, I'm still here, bro.
Hold on. What's your last 4 digits, Dre?
1546.
Oh, you 1546. I muted the wrong one. So who's 8475? 8475?
Yo.
Who this? Kemp?
I'm on.
This Kemp?
Yeah, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, bro? What's your thoughts? Was Trump cheated?
Oh man, I was trying to get in with a homeboy who got off the phone.
I really got too many of you guys on the phone right now. But if we
was so misguided.
Who was misguided?
The gentleman who just got off the phone from St. Louis.
Really? Let's hear that.
His perspective on what is required for black prosperity is actually the wrong narrative. In his argument about schools and having school choice, it is the equivalent of charter, except charters are governed by DOE principles or government principles. Having a choice of what school you wanted to go to as a condemnation of the public education system, you would then have to make the argument that everyone in the public education system is at a disadvantage from being exposed to that form of education, where we know that's not true, where Asian Americans go to public education, where Brooklyn College produced Bernie Sanders, where Colin Powell came from a public education system. It has nothing to do with the school system and everything to do with the school district, culture, environment, social disparities play longer and more divisional in a child's success than the school itself ever will. The school is a foundation. The school is a building. Everybody goes to court. Not everybody goes to court with the same lawyer. You understand? So that determines your level of freedom. That determines your level of representation. The work needs to be done in the home prior to the school. That has nothing to do with what president you have. To Coke's point, more locally, where those resources, enormous amounts of resources, come into the states and the cities, that money is not being evenly utilized to the districts because of the misrepresentation from black electeds who take that money and sell out their people. That's a bigger issue more than it actually is on. There's billions of dollars that go to the public school system. Why is it that a school in Park Slope gets better computers, better laptops than Brownsville? Who's making that decision? Well, who elected the person to make that decision? How are those two people sitting at the same table in Albany? One walks away with MacBooks and the other one walks away with a hope and a prayer on a laptop. That person should not be your elected representative. That person should not be held accountable for the millions of people in that district who are underrepresented, who have representatives. So I think that part of it was, he also didn't speak to the part of unions and how the president is against unions, and that in itself historically has worked against minorities, right? I mean, when you talk about when minorities were at their greatest level of success, most of it were union jobs. The where he lives and all the states that have right to work
Black people are doing far worse than they are in the cities that have union jobs. Actually, if you find out what the white rebuke is in the inner cities and in larger cities, is that most now of the union jobs have went to minorities. If you look at transit as an example, and the white people on the outside looking in, that's why they're supporting Trump, because they feel like they're becoming marginalized.
Let's touch on that. Like even with the whole Janice thing, right? Because that's where we get that Trump want to destroy unions, and he's when Trump he's speaking from a business point of view. When he was on that show, what was it, The Apprentice, and he was able to fire someone without no recourse. That's how he used to doing business. But when you look at the whole Janice thing, right, and wanting to be a part of your union, like I don't support the politicians or all of the politicians that Local 100 support, because I feel that they support politicians that don't for the same reason I don't support Trump. Like I don't support Cuomo because I don't think Cuomo is good for us, you know, for business, for workers, right? So why should I give why should I give my money to my union to give to him to destroy us at the end of the day? You know, and that's what Janice is about.
Understand.
That's what Janice is about at the end of the day.
Let me jump in. Needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, right? So in theory, what benefits me might not benefit my kids or my wife or my future or my grandkids that aren't born yet. But there are times when I have to compromise. I might not want to do certain things that personally affect me to the negative, but might benefit the long term. It was why Dr. King questioned whether or not he had integrated people in burning house. There would really be no way to understand that until you actually let it play out over 3 decades. And letting it play out, we now see that we have been integrated into a burning house. And to the brother from who had called in, dropping the information relative to his environment. Yes, I think that in certain districts, in certain parts of the country, you definitely don't want, I'll just use this as the most extreme case, a clandestine or a Ku Klux Klan or a Mitch McConnell-based district determining what the future should be in a public education for black children. I think that's very dangerous. So, yes, you would need a choice there. Every situation, though, and this is why you have an electoral college, is not relative to the needs of the many in this country. Because in the inner cities, you have an enormous amount of people, where in the rural areas, you don't have as many. So do you want the country being decided, or the fate of the country being decided by 4 states? Absolutely not. And that's why you have to have an electoral college. Now, the history of the electoral college was actually intended to stop black people from having a bigger voice. If you want to know the history about the Electoral College, it's actually rooted in racism. But as the states and as evolution changed itself, it put people in the cities, whereas most of the resources, the new resources, let's rephrase that, and this is where the Trump base comes from. This is, make no mistake, in the book I had sent you the picture of, Tramel, Reconstruction. If you want to know what's happening in America right now, history is replaying itself. This is a rebuke. What you're seeing is still a rebuke of a black president. This is still the hangover of that. Make no mistake. America still can't deal with the fact that black prosperity is removing white supremacy in some form or fashion. So what did they do? They brought the Spanish people who identify as white to stand with them in spaces where they make black criminality seem like the fear. They play on white fear. This is the playbook of the Reconstruction. After slavery, there was a rebuke. White people got afraid, and they built this whole narrative that, hey, look, these free slaves have skills, and they're going to work for free, and they're going to put all the white people out of work. And that's where unions were created. They were created to prevent black people, black freed slaves, from taking white jobs.
Correct.
So they said, if you're a white plumber, we're going to build a collective.
Yeah, Dre, jump in.
And I just wanted to jump in. Nephew, this is what I wanted to jump in. As far as any one of your coworkers chiming in, I respect their views. But when I can't say anything to repute it, and then they're saying it's emotional, then I have a problem with it, because the number one thing about it is I'm a union man. you're a union man, and the first thing we do, we protect our Jews, right? When somebody says that I don't want unions, or he's against unions, that was the last of the last from him. Because the other states that support him in red, those are right to work. We're suburban people. He's a city man himself. He went for the union. He not only you're going to be union until you leave. How do you support big business? Your man comes and says, "Oh well, how do we think from a business person's mind?" I don't think from a business person's mind all the time because I'm a union man. I understand making profits in the future, my labor and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm part of the 99%, and I'm not going to defend the 1%. I'm not going to defend white supremacy because all of the things that we working up against is meant to the detriment of ourselves. The fact that the older D said, he said that Obama was against the voucher system. Whatever elitism that he has in him, I have to respect that because that's the road he traveled. He too is going to protect his best interests like I'm going to protect mine. Everything that Obama said is not going to chime well with me, just and vice versa around the table. But the brother that just came in and explained that the Board of Education, I needed you to come in because I think you were teaching that best fit. The OG that came in talking about vouchers, he needed to speak with you. Like you said, you needed to school him like he schooled me.
Yo, Coach, no doubt. And that's peace. But, in one part, though, we do have to be multifaceted, right? We can't look at business as if we don't belong there. I think that was the brother's point also. Like, we have to see ourselves in ultimate dynamics. We can't wait on the union job as a pathway to prosperity because, as we know, you'll never be rich working for somebody. That's a fact. There is nobody who's going to be rich driving a bus. So if wanting to be rich is your ultimate goal, you should not drive a bus. But you should not go to a public school. You might need to go to a school. But I think, and this is just my own argument, well, my own opinion about who we are as a people. We are so damaged from the effects of slavery, and emotionally, we are so ingrained in that ideology in ourselves that everything we talk about outside of that weakens us. Because until I'll use like therapy, right? A battered wife syndrome, or a woman who was raped. That woman who was raped, how do you think she's going to treat, if she got raped when she was 14 years old at a party, in a park or something, whatever. When she has a 14-year-old daughter, her daughter's not going outside to that party. I promise you that. And if she does, her mother's going with her. Well, how she raises her kids is going to always have that part in her mind. And how she implants that in the way she raises her children will become part of their reality without them even knowing it. So when I refer to slavery and how it affects us, people look at slavery as just like 1 billion years ago. Bro, we're talking about 2 generations. My dad drank from a black-only water fountain. How do you think that affected his life? How do you think that psychologically he would raise his children? Matter of fact, how do you think it would affect his life so bad that he would be removed from his children's life? That he'd be so damaged that he couldn't even be present? That understanding that narrative, then you have the powers that be that play on that predicate, that root in that. So, to bring it full circle, was Donald Trump robbed? No. Donald Trump just met some white people more tyrannical than him. See, he thought that he was the most biggest, baddest, evil, wicked, dirty businessman. No, sir. Politicians, sir, are the real deal, okay? So you tried to come up in there playing business, and they don't hit you with that politic game, okay? See, that politic game was, no, we're going to turn a pandemic into an opportunity.
Hold on.
See, people out here trying to save lives.
Hold on 1 second, Kemp. Dre, you there?
Stay online. Stay on the line.
Dre, what's your thoughts on that? On what Kemp is saying?
They can't handle that.
I agree what he's saying, and this is the point that I was making. You know what I'm saying? I didn't make it as eloquent as the brother who called from Missouri, but here's the thing: when you look at every group of people, right? When you building a nation, say, us as black people, you go back to Black Wall Street. We had our own businesses. We built them up. We were doing our thing. And then you ushered in the 60s, the LBG era with, social programs, which tore down our communities. Because basically, in essence, if you look at the history and I don't want to get into like Democrat, Republican. But prior to the 60s, you know, we were building our own as a people. I mean, coming out of slavery, we had all of the trades and everything. We the ones that knew how to do that because we did the work in slavery.
Right.
You know, when you fast forward to now, my point about economics, bro, is I'm a black man, bro. I'm from the hood. I'm from Bed-Stuy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tearing down my people and saying that, you know, they can't do for what I'm saying is we need to do for ourselves. And one of the ways that we do for ourselves is through business. Because we sit there, we protest, and we look for a narrative as far as we let other people take on our causes instead of doing that which we should be doing for ourselves. I give you an example. When you talk about economics, we talk about the hood don't got this, the hood don't got that. But if you look at the groups of people that spend money in this country and you look at the African American and how much money we contribute to the economy, we do have the resources to do for ourselves as far as build our own businesses and everything. And
so where's the disconnect though, Dre? Dre, where's the disconnect though then? So if we have that, right? So if right, like, so, you know, we'll use the hood as an example, right? A cat busts up on $1 million lawsuit. He got $1 million. That $1 million, if you put it in someone else's hand, could turn into $100 million, could turn into $10 million, could turn into 50, or this brother could just spend it, burn a hole through his hand. Why is that? And Dre, respectfully, I'm gonna ask you, and I respect everything you're saying because it's real, it's valid. It is part of the complex issue of who we are in America. But how does any of that, in other words, when you refer to us at a prominent stage as the Black Wall Street, building up into the civil rights movement, what went wrong? Was it just that they burned down the city and we were never able to rebuild it back because we changed as a people? Are we different people? Or was there systems put in place to prevent that from ever happening again?
So you know, I'm glad you posed that question to me because that's what I was going to go to next. So if you look at what happened from the 60s, right? You look at prior to the 60s, black people in America were conservative. We voted Republican. I mean, you could.
But what does that mean, though? What does that mean, though? If you're going to say that, I need to understand what that means. What does it mean to be black and conservative?
That's what. Okay, so we voted Republican based on the fact that, you know, we wanted to, you know, at the time, the Republican Party was based on, you know, I guess being
Party of Lincoln.
The party of Lincoln, and we were in the party because, you know, Lincoln with the slavery and everything, right? So check this out. What happened in the 60s when LBJ became president, one of the things that he wanted to do, that he said, and this is documented, is to get uppity Negroes in check, he would give them social programs. That was the beginning of, okay, black women, we'll give you anything you want, but you can't have a man in the house. That started to break down the black family. That started breaking down the black family. So what has happened the 50-plus years since then? Our people, some of our people, not all, some of the people that come accustomed to getting handouts, living off the system, having a victim mentality, being told that you can't do it because of the racist society and all that. And don't get me wrong, racism exists. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it don't exist. But when you take away a people's ability to do for themselves and think for themselves, they become childlike in the way that they think. And when
and
you
I
look
respect
at our
that, and that's a whole fact.
Can I ask you where that terminology comes, victim mentality? Do you think we wake up in the morning thinking that that victim mentality is the equivalent of black on black crime? That's somebody else's narrative. That word,
that's a fact.
We don't wake up in the morning thinking that we know victim. Wait a minute, bro, listen. Let's stop letting people name us. Because first of all, the brother is telling you, and I said all of this time, systematic, institutional racism is this country is born, bred, and it's going to die on it. We fight an uphill bill. As soon as we touch the floor and get up and walk out the door, all right? That's not victim mentality. That's realism. That's realism.
It's an identification of a problem, right? If we identify a problem, that don't make me a victim. But in that same sentiment, yes, there is a defeatist.
I'm going to answer your question.
Dre,
I want to tell you where I get that from.
There's a defeatist attitude that black people have, and I want to tell you where the defeatist attitude comes from. And this is why I talk about it's ingrained into your DNA. So it's not a conscious choice. So you have to be very careful to lament that onto a people who don't have an alternate choice to what's ingrained into their being. I'll give you an example. What was a tactic the Klan used? Fear, okay? Fear. I will light a cross on your lawn. I will kidnap your daughter walking to school. I will burn you and hang you from a tree. So everyone who walks past this, who thinks about acting like you, will have something to reference. I will give you another example. The reason why you have not seen the likes of a Dr. King and a Malcolm X in 50 years is because they have shown you publicly they will execute you. They will use the FBI to break up the Black Panther Party and shoot you in your bed at night. They will give you heroin. They will give you coke. They will give you crack. They will give you jail. They will give you disparity. They will take you out of your house and rape your wife and make you watch. So every day when you wake up and think about fighting against white supremacy, there is a fear in your chest that makes you choose whether I am going to choose to die today, because that will be your reality if you try to fight white supremacy in these United States of America. That is a fact. That is not subjective. That is not objective.
This is the point that I'm making.
That hurt that I got to hear.
Yo, I agree with you, but here, look at it like this.
Hold on, fellas. Hold on 1 second.
And people talking about.
1 second.
I gotta listen. We got. Tell me that. That's why we can't.
We got 4 minutes before the line is done. So
I'm gonna let y'all go because I don't want to talk anymore. But the only thing I'm saying is, guys, in my opinion, we have to be more strategic in the fact of our sacrifice. In other words, it can't be about me no more. My generation, I'm generation, let's say Z or Y, whatever it is. I can't think about me no more. Right now, I gotta look at Generation Z and be like, all right, yo, shorty's 15, 14. You gotta grab them 13 years old and to the point of the Nation Islam, the reason they were able to thrive because they had to break you down and build you back up. You can't fix a grown man. I'm telling you right now, it is too late. When a man reaches a certain age in life, he's already conformed. Now he can be productive, but he's already conformed to a reality that he's figured out how to survive. It's like the lion in the zoo. That lion's waiting for you to bring him the meat. You can't bring him back to Africa because he'll die. Right? So I'm gonna let y'all ride. I love y'all either way. I love because we are brothers in suffering, and your pain is my pain. Your success is my success because it affects my children. I love y'all. Be safe, and don't worry about this election because they can still making chopped cheese.
Yo, Kemp, I'll speak to you later, bro.
Gonna be.
Yeah, peace.
All right. So
that's cool.
Look, this was a very interesting conversation. Dre, you always coming with some knowledge. Uncle Coke, you always coming with some knowledge. You got to try to stay out of Facebook jail, though, because I did miss you for those couple of days. I did miss you for those couple of days. You got to watch what you say on the internet. Mark Zuckerberg is not playing around. But yeah, man, look, thanks for calling in, guys. I really appreciate it. Y'all hung out with me almost for 2 hours. Dre, we will speak later, and Uncle Coke, we will speak later.
Peace and blessing, y'all.
All
right, peace.
All right. Man, that was a beautiful, beautiful discussion. Beautiful discussion. Man, the show is growing. I think the last show we had people calling from the South. This time we had a very intelligent brother calling from the Midwest and gave us another perspective on Trump. I don't think I ever did a show for this long. I definitely can't talk for this long by myself. So I'm thankful for the callers that did call in. We had a lot of callers call in. For the callers who I didn't get to, thanks for calling in anyway. But these type of discussions is what's needed. Online in our communities and our homes, and we may not agree on all points, but the fact that we are talking about what's going on is very important to me, and this is why we need to start sharing out these shows. I'm going to be doing more of these type of shows, that would spark uh, serious discussion, logical discussion, and open up our eyes to different point of views. I think some of us is narrow-minded. We only think one way. We only think that that's the only way. Sometimes when people bring other perspectives, we're not receptive to it. But I think that what we doing here at Progressive Action is that we are starting to open up each other's eyes to different perspectives. Nobody was wrong today. You know, a lot of our perspectives is based off of our experiences. And our experiences shape our lives most of the time. And sometimes learning other people's experiences and knowing what to look out for, knowing what to stay away from, that helps us a lot also. And I think that's very important. So these type of conversations, they could be heated. It's healthy. And like I said, it's needed, man. It's needed. You guys made me proud today with the show. And I love the different perspectives. Another thing that's very important is donating to the platform. A lot of people don't know me being on this platform.
90 seconds.
Oh, look, that was I could get rid of that. I ain't really worried about the Blog Talk Radio. But the Blog Talk Radio, you could look up and see how much that costs a month. The minutes to stream to all these different platforms is not free. It costs money. Please donate to the platform if you can. The Cash App is Progressive Action 100. The PayPal is Progressive Action. If you want to donate monthly, you can look into the link of the video. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, to something called Patreon. But if you don't want to do that and you want to donate regular, PayPal and Cash App is the way to go. Once again, the Cash App is Progressive Action 100. Every donation counts. We're going to grow. We're going to continue to get better. And we're going to be one of the best platforms out here very soon. I promise you that. Thanks for tuning in to the Progressive Action TV show. Don't forget to share it out. Don't forget to if you watching on YouTube, text it to your friends. If you're watching on Facebook, put it in whatever group that you're in. It's time for us to start sharing and opening up each other's eyes. Thanks for